Hey, what's up, guys? I'm still outside. Outside as weather's finally turned for the better in this area, although the pollen's out crazy. So I'm really just focusing on educating you guys on what's happening in the real estate market in real time. So this is a series that I call Anatomy of the Deal. And the reason why I like to do these is because there's so many agents that just don't have the experience and the old agents ain't sharing it, right? So what ends up happening is an agent down the street makes a bad decision, and that affects the property that I'm listing, or the property that I own, or the property that my client owns. And really, it's because it's just maybe a bad strategy. Sometimes it's because the seller just don't listen, right? So I say it's 50-50. But this house is one that we just sold. This one just went under just sold like last week, and this client was downsizing from a townhouse into a one level. They ended up going into one main level living. So if anyone's looking for main level living, reach out to us. I will tell you, and you know, if you know of your local representative in Prince William County, you can tag them to this video. Um, One level living is arguably the hardest type of home to find. And that needs to change. They need to make sure that these developers and builders build for the population that's here and the population that's coming, right? 75 years old, going up and down stairs. We happen to have a listing. We happen to have some information about stuff, but it's not a lot out there, right? So if you're thinking about downsizing, reach out to us. But this one sold in 4 days. And what ended up happening was, I know the seller very well, and he asked me a specific question. He said, Alan, what can I do to make sure that my home sells quickly? Right? I want it to sell quickly. I want it to sell. I want to make sure that I price it aggressively. Right? So if you notice down here, let me go down here. We priced it at 490, and look at what we ended up getting. 525. 525, right? And we went under contract rather quickly. So we ended up getting, almost, you could do the math, a significant amount of money. Now, the challenges with this house came. This one has solar panels. I don't know if you can see it up top. Well, solar panels are becoming more and more of a challenge, especially when you have a lien on or you still owe on those solar panels. And what ended up happening was the buyer qualified to buy the home, like $500,000 plus, but they did not qualify to take over the solar panels. So it was a whole negotiation. It was crazy. It was the first time that we've experienced a solar company like denying based off of credit, right? This dude can buy this house. Like, what's going on with them not being able to get your solar panel? So we had to negotiate. A lot of the reasons why you didn't see any seller subsidy there was because we had to make sure that just those things were taken into account. But we are in a brave new world when it comes to how you negotiate deals, right? So it's very important that if you're thinking about selling it, if you don't call the AJ team or you don't call us, make sure you call someone who's experienced, because a lot of this stuff is uncharted territory, right? We've dealt with it, because we've been in the business over 2 decades, but there are a lot of sellers, a lot of agents that just haven't been through it. So I will tell you, if you have not read the book, read the book, 50 Things Your Real Estate Agent Should Tell You, but probably won't. Especially real estate agents. You should read this book because it will give you a lot of game. And there are not a lot of agents. Number one, the old guard ain't sharing as much because they're out, right? And people aren't in the office anymore. Like, most people work from home. The conversations we used to have by the water cooler, agents aren't having those anymore. So it's very important that we learn and teach as much as we possibly can. Because, like I said, like, what happens down the street affects my house. What happens here affects that house. And we can all do it in a professional manner with as much education, strategy, and just experience as possible is better for everyone. So if you need our help, reach out to us. Alan Johnson with the AJ team. You have the dream. We have the address. We'll see you soon.